Alright, guys, I want to talk about options for a second. Just like the normal buying and selling option contracts. Kind of what they are, how they work, why we buy them, how we profit. I know some of you guys trade futures. A few of you want to get into options, don't know how they work, don't know what they are. I'll kind of get into it a little bit, anyways. So, pretty much, this right here is an option chain. All of this, what you see here, this right here is an option chain, right? So pretty much we're looking at Microsoft, and you can tell that by this right here. So we see Microsoft here. So you type in whatever you want to see, whatever stock you want, pull up your option chain, and you'll see a bunch of dates. This is what you'll see normally. Okay, January 9th, January 16th, January 23rd. Pretty much it keeps going to the June 2028, but it's pretty much you're estimating where you think price will be by this day. And that'll be 13 days from now, 20 days from now, 27 days. So right now, Microsoft is, as we can see, at $472, right? So if you let's say you think 2 weeks from now it's going to go up, so you pick 13 days, you'll pick the 16th because you think you're going to do 2 weeks, right? So we know it's at 472.93, right? So let's say we think it's going to go to 475 in 2 weeks, right? It's at 472 right now. So all we do is we look under the strike, right? And we find the 475. And that's what this right here is, 475. Your left side's going to be calls, your right side's going to be puts. So you call somebody, your signal goes up from your cell phone. It goes up to the towers. You call somebody. Whenever you put somebody, you also put them down. You push somebody down. So puts are down, calls up. Left, up, right, down. That's what these are right here. So all we do is we look for the ask, because people that are selling these contracts, this is what they're asking for price wise. This is what they're asking: 510, 605, 710. They're asking these. This is what people are bidding. That you see how they're 10 cents off, 5 cent off, 10 cent, 15 cent, whatever. That's what people are bidding. But if you want to get in now, right now, you click the ask. Always click the ask if you want to buy in immediately. Don't click the bid. You won't get filled until price comes down to this price. But right now it's at 690. Okay, so we see that right here. You click the ask. Whenever you click the ask, it'll pop up a window that says, are you sure you want to buy? And you can buy one contract. What this is you're saying that you think price will go to 475 by January 16th, right? And it's going to cost you $6.90 to buy that contract. The only thing is these are not in dollars and cents, they're in hundreds of dollars. So take this decimal away, and it's $690. That's what it will cost you to buy one contract, saying that price is going to go to 475 by January 16th. Okay? Now, this is the thing with the option contracts. Price doesn't have to get to 475 in order for you to make money, right? So right now it's at 472.93. Let's say it gets up to 474 right here. But you're not at 475 where you want to be. But let's say price gets up to 474 here. Whenever you bought this 475 contract saying price is going to go up, let's say a day or two has passed since you bought it, right? You paid $690 for this contract, right? But when you bought it, price was at 472.93. Now a couple days later, you're checking again, price is at 474, and your contract is not at 690 anymore. Now it's up here. Now it's at 820, right? So now whenever you go to sell it, you can sell it for the 820 because your contract has grown in value, because you still have however much time left on your contract, and you're closer to the 475. So someone else is going to come along and they're going to say, "Hey, I think it's going to hit 475 and you still have a week left on your contract. Let me buy your contract from you." And you can say, "Well, that's fine, but now price is at 474. Whenever I bought this contract, it was at 472. So if you want to buy this contract from me, I'll sell it to you, but I'm not going to sell it to you for 690 because we're closer to that 475 number that I picked. So that means my contract is worth more. So instead of 690, I'll sell it to you for 820." And that person goes, "Okay, that's fine. I still think it's going to go up." And they buy it from you for 820. That's it. You're done. Your hands are clean. You go on to the next contract, to the next trade. Right? That's how the contract game works. Now, what they are is most people can't buy 100 shares of a stock because they don't have that much capital. Like this is $472 a share. Imagine if you bought 100 shares. It's a lot of money, right? In each contract, it gives you the right to buy 100 shares in each of these contracts. So inside of these contracts holds 100 shares, right? So this is what contracts are for. We just middleman it, right? So listen, contracts are for people who want to buy 100 shares of a stock at a certain price when they think it's going to go up in the future. So they're not really looking at buying a contract, letting it go up a little bit, then selling it and making that premium, making that profit from 690 to 820 like we're trying to do. They're not doing that. What they want to do is they want to own Microsoft. They want to buy these shares of Microsoft. They want to buy 100 shares, right, at a certain price. And right now price is at 472. Right? So someone will go, "Hey, listen, I want to buy 100 shares of Microsoft at 472. But whenever I buy, I want to be in profit. I want to buy at a good opportunity." So what they would do is they would go buy this same call that we bought, $475. They would buy that for $690, right? That's what they would spend. And once price got up to 475, where they want price to be, or up to 474, whatever they wanted, just up in their direction, just like us. But this is the difference. They would go back to the person who created the 475 contract and they would say, "Hey, listen, I want to exercise 100 shares at the price that we agreed upon whenever I bought the contract." And that was 472. So the person who makes the contract goes, "Hey, listen, I don't think this is going to rise. I don't think price is going to go to 475 by January 16th. This person owns 100 shares of Microsoft. So they create this contract. They put 100 shares inside of this contract. And they say, "Hey, listen, if this contract goes up to 475 by January 16th, I'll give you 100 shares at the agreed upon price, which would be the price you bought it at, which is 472. So if price goes to 475 in 2 days and you still have a week left, you can go back to this person and go, "Hey, listen, I'm done. I'm going to give me 100 shares at $472 per share because that's when I bought the contract, even though right now price is at $475 a share." That way, when this person pulls out that 100 shares of that contract, they're going to be in profit $3 a share, and they have 100 of them. So that's their profit. That's the incentive of them buying a contract, is when you want to own the underlying stock. You want to own the shares. You want to exercise and pull out those shares. What we're doing is just buying the contract, holding it for a little bit, hoping it goes up in that direction, and then selling it to somebody who does want to take the shares, or selling it to someone else who wants to make some profit like we did, and vice versa, same thing. So we're just kind of the middleman, the contract flippers. We're not exercising the shares, but my point is that's what contracts are. They give you the right to buy 100 shares of the underlying stock at a agreed upon price. The person who's creating the contract is hoping the stock goes the opposite way. That way they can collect your 690 and never hear from you again. They get to keep their 100 shares and they get to collect $690 from you, and that's it. They wake up tomorrow and do the same thing again. So you're betting against the people that have created the contract saying it's going to go up. Because if it goes up, you could go back to them and say, "Hey, when I bought this from you, it was lower, and I want all those 100 shares at that lower price. Please give me that." Now they have to give you those 100 shares at that agreed upon price and take that hit, and you get to make that money. But you have to buy the 100 shares from them at the $472. You can't just not have any money when you exercise the contracts. So if you want 100 shares at $702, you would have to have the money to buy the shares at 472 each. But then as soon as you buy, it's at 475 already. So you're going to be in profit when you buy, but you still have to have the capital to buy. Most people don't have that capital to buy, so they middleman the contracts. That's how they make big profit in a short amount of time. It's a lot of information, and it's kind of confusing, but I just kind of wanted to give a quick crash course rundown on what they are, how they work, buying the ask, buying the bid. So you're going to see this on Robinhood, on Thinkorswim, whatever you use, you're going to see this. And you need to know the strike price is the price that you think it's going to get to. The middle one's always going to be where it is whenever the market closed, or whenever it is, whenever you pop this chain open. That's what this will be. But under the strike, there'll be other ones. And this is where you think price will go. And the further out of the money, the further away from price it currently is, the cheaper the contracts are. 500, 400, 300, 300. The cheaper they are, because up here they're already in the money. That means they're already at the number. If you buy a 470 call, well, price is at 472. It's already at 470. So it's going to cost you a lot more money, because as soon as price goes to 471, you're going to be up here in the thousands. Your profit is higher whenever you're in the money. I'll go over the Greeks later, but I just kind of wanted to give a crash course in what options are, and how you were to buy them on the screen. What you need to look at always is volume and the delta. Those are the two things that I look at. I make sure the volume's high, right? I like thousands in volume on contracts, and then the delta. Never 0, 0. Always 0.3, 0.2, 0.100. Sorry, dogs. 0.5, whatever the case may be. Never 0, because this is going to give you the actual profit right here. The higher this, the more profit you make. But all right, that's just a crash course, guys. I'll go handle these dogs. All right, guys, take it easy.